Uninvited, Lena Murilla appears to have been awaiting your arrival for quite some time. Finn, where in the world have you been? Did you not receive Alma's summons? Principal Lexentale's research into the Aura site may finally have borne fruit. We must hurry to the Prima Vista before they embark on some grand and perilous adventure without us. So yeah, I think that's actually where, like, what was this? This would have been 4.1, like, story ended. Now we're in the 4.3 story. Starting, like, with this quest. Rin, Lady Murilla, thank you for answering my summons. Master Garland was kind enough to send for an Archon from Charlene. I thought it only right that you be present to hear her findings. Ah, yes. To be frank, summoning Mikoto was more Yastola's idea. I simply came along to see what light she could shed on this mystery. So, here's a fun thing. If you want to do the Boja stuff, you actually have to do Ivalice first, because this is where you meet Mikoto. Like, the Boja stuff is actually locked behind Ivalice. I am Mikoto of House Jinba, a Doman, though my years in Charlene have made me a stranger here. You must be Rinakagi, fabled liberator of men, slayer of false gods, warrior of light. I thought you'd be taller. She is really cute, though. Let us speak of the crystal. The Otius, one of but many Aurosite shards that aided noble Delita's rise to regent. My apologies. The Otius is no ordinary crystal, even discounting its obvious historical importance. The specimen is more than a simple manifestation of elementally aspected energies. It is, rather, an ethereal lodestone, whose facilitation of both the absorption and transmission of distinct frequency NRR-type harmonic vibrations has been observed to promote ethereal amplification. I love her. I love her. The resultant no harmonic disturbance allows for a highly unique emittance of CPRS waves that, instead of radiating outward with a determined factor of dispersal, instead resonate inward at a frequency so labored, by estimate places the rate of VRT decay at upwards of several centuries. I must admit, I lack sufficient varieties to complete a truly comprehensive graphical assessment. While that explanation may elicit admiring nods from your professors at the Academy, it will earn you only blank looks here. Take a deep breath and try again, this time in a language those of us without the echo might comprehend. Just like, right. Apologies, I merely thought. Apologies will see us no nearer to an answer. A simpler explanation will. Simpler. Right. Ether is not only the building block of all things material, but there's immaterial as well. Thoughts, memories, feelings, one's very will are all understood to be ethereal phenomena, and can be measured as such. Unlike most crystals, which only can emit elemental energies, Aurosite is tuned not only to absorb ether, but ether specific to the immaterial. That ether is then stored and multiplied within its crystalline confines until external stimuli precipitate release. Did anybody else get that? Try again. Under appropriate conditions, a strong will or desire can become imprinted upon the oocyte and stored until fermentation, at which time the desire becomes manifest. Fermentation? What my studious young friend is trying to say is that the OTS takes one's deepest fantasies and makes them reality. Yes, that is simpler. You may choose to think of it as a process akin to that of summoning a primal. There being one marked difference, primal summoning requires a supplemental energy source, such as a horde of elementally charged crystals. Oocyte, on the other hand, has the capacity to serve as its own source of power. We know from the Dural papers that Argus was never king of Ivalice. He was slain in battle during the War of the Lions. Yet the Argus encountered during the recent expedition carried himself as if he had been crowned regent. I believe this was merely the oocyte in his possession, realizing his desire to rule. I am informed that he uttered the same words over and over again for the duration of the confrontation which unfolded. If that is the case, it is possible that it was not actually Argus who uttered them, but the oocyte itself. If the dry papers are accurate, Argus was a weak and petty noble who believed that his blood entitled him to power. The oocyte took that belief and twisted it into the abomination we, Rin, put to the sword. I mean, it's more that I use the scythe, but yes. Then you are saying the crystal could prove a threat? The oocyte, Alma. Not necessarily. Ramza seemed to fare well enough. There is no record of the young regent being manipulated by the artifacts he gathered. In the hands of the just, the oocyte should prove harmless, even beneficial. To paraphrase, it is not the weapon that kills, but the one who wields it. Exactly. Now where have I heard that before? Oh yes, it was Emperor Galvis's justification for taking the marvels of Magitech and applying them to the manufacture of arms, where, after all, was the harm if it allowed him to bring order to the three great continents? Ah, yes. Solus Zos Galvis. I think it's Zos. To draw an intriguing parallel, Master Garland, the properties of these crystals are so singular to begin to wonder if they, like Magitech, are products of science and not nature. If they were created by someone to... But who? What manner of person would even be capable of such a feat? Now that is an interesting question, the answer to which I look forward to hearing. Regrettably, I have pressing matters to attend to elsewhere. Fear not, however. Makoto's insight will prove far more beneficial than anything I might accidentally contribute. Good day to you all. What I don't understand is, if the Duma was inspired with Argus' deepest desires, then whose desires are rattling about inside the Otius? I had the self-same question, and thus conducted a thorough inspection of the crystal upon my arrival. The results were inconclusive. Traces of ethereal activity were present, but to all intents and purposes the vessel was empty. Empty? But what of the voices I heard? Voices? I heard nothing of the sort. The only voices you heard, Alma, were in your stubborn head. Frickin' Ramza, man. Ramza, why won't you... Shall we speak of voices, then? What of yours, Alma? A resident voice of dissent. You've done naught but question the wisdom of our research from the moment we left Garlemald. Would you put your petty worries above our family's calling? No, I would never. Poor Alma. You would never? Then why invoke a gossip monger, a goody two-shoes, and this flying mole? Please tell me you can see that. Oh. Moogle. Hello, Moogle. It's a Moogle. We've got to have our evolution Moogle here in some way. Am I interrupting? Oh, please do go on. My acceptance into your fine troops ranks can wait until you all have said their piece, Kupo. Gods, get this. Mont Blanc. Name is Mont Blanc. Denizen of Damascus deserts, seeker of thrills, adventurer extraordinaire. You may call me Mont Blanc, Kupo. Alaska has long been known as a melting pot for myriad cultures, where minor races such as the Sikh, the Banga, and the Vieira might live in relative harmony with Hyur, Ilazan, and others. Hey, the first mention of Vieira. Yet there is no record of a prominent Moogle population. Most likely because we are neither prominent nor populous. My people are nomadic by nature, ever drawn to the elusive frontier and the freedom she promises, Kupo. Moogle? Of course I am Moogle, Kupo. Think the adorable wings and the fluffy palm would have given it away. Now, about my admission to the majestic... I will allow no such thing. The Majestic is the Empire's premier theater company. Will not sully its good name by granting refuge to a fluttering ball of fur. And furthermore, how in the world did this abomination board the Prima Vista in the first place? By means of his wings, were I to guess. As for his admission to our company, I do not seem to recall race, creed, or allegiance on my list of requirements, do you? No, Father. Very well then, Mont Blanc. What is it exactly that calls you to the stage? Our stage. What else? A Zodiac Brave story, Kupo. Never before have I witnessed something so amazing, so moving. Sitting, well, technically hovering there in the audience as the story unfolded around me, I knew I was witnessing something special, something positively transcendental, Kupo. But then I realized I had either had to be a part of it, or go to my grave a bitter and broken Moogle. Was this realization before or after you swore you simply had to become the realm's greatest marauder, Kupo? It's another Moogle! Honey, how did you... Oh boy, that's gonna be interesting trying to do both and get them different. Perhaps you'd have more success at running away if you didn't reveal your grand designs to every fool you happen to meet, Kupo. Was it not but 20 nights ago you took up to the axe, Kupo? Now here you are professing your passion for the stage before carving even a single notch in your haft? Do you not remember that he who turns the butter goes the sweetest bread? But how is one to savor said buttered bread if his head is in the belly of a fearsome beast? You accuse me of giving up when I merely came to the realization that continuing would end in failure. Only through a change of course could I reach my final destination, Kupo. And that destination is what? Mummer? Are you sure it's not Geomancer, Arithmetician, Templar? Do not bother answering, Kupo. We all know you'll be singing a different tune come cockcrow. This is where you are mistaken, Herdy. I was destined to be a thespian. I can see it in my fur. The role of Delita was made for me. Made for me, Kupo. Kupo, 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 Kupo! Enough! The actors in our company trained at the Empire's finest institutes. They represent the pinnacle of the profession not only in Garlemald, but across the entire world. A vagrant bat mole like you can never hope to share a stage with such artists, let alone play the part of a hero like Delita. You yourself admitted you are too craven to face a solitary beast. How do you imagine you would fare against a pack of theater critics? Any troupe would need proof of valor before it could even consider. Craven, call me a cheat and call me a cur, but do not, sir, call me Craven. I accept your challenge. Slay but one foul beast by my own hand. The Majestic Theater Company will accept me into its ranks, Kupo. Wait, I issued no such. You are all here witnesses, Kupo. When I return with the head of a terrible beast in my gore-stained hands, you'll be honor-bound to welcome me, Mont Blanc the Mummer, into the fabled ranks of the Majestic. Good day. Wonderful. What do we do now? What do we do? We do nothing. If that Batmole wishes to throw himself on the horns of a stampeding Zoe, I will not stand in his way. As I believe the proper term of derogation is mole bat, and I should warn you, Moogles do not take kindly to those who use it. Why must you always put yourself above others, brother? Did you learn nothing from Argus' wretched example? Mont Blanc would never set off on this fool's errands had you not made the challenge. If anything befalls my brother, his blood will be on your hands. Rin, you're the only one among us capable of locating Mont Blanc and preventing disaster. On behalf of my brother, I beg your assistance. Well, what can you do? My brother can be rather simple-minded when it comes to such matters. Thinking to impress the Warrior of Light and her companions, Mont Blanc would likely choose the scene of your recent exploit to prove his worth. Meaning Robin Astor, if I am not mistaken. Pardon my language, but that Ramza really is an incurable little prick, is he? How dare he speak to his sister in the Moogle in that manner? Couldn't decide which was worse, the thing he said, or the way the principal sat back and let him say them. But I suppose it is none of our concern. For now, let us concentrate at the task at hand. Finding that Moogle before he does something we'll all regret. But say we start nearby. Pier number 2, perhaps? Alright, out to Kugane then. And out the airship landing. I will say the amount of, like, points where you have to, like, click on an NPC to transition can be a little obnoxious. Okay, so we got 2 hours on them. I couldn't remember when I started them last night. So, I think it's just a holstery. Now, I don't expect that we'll get into the next raid, so I think I'm going to go till the next raid, and then probably end there. None of you will probably notice that. It'll probably just be a cut to the next raid, but I'm just letting you know. Falcon Porter tells us they set a traveling blacksmith away to Yangxia, not a Bell Pass. And why would that be of interest to us, you ask? Because said peddler of iron and steel was seen to be carrying a bag stuffed to the brim with, and I quote, albino mole fur and purple bat wings. Mont Blanc! Not that we look like that, Kupo. Quickest route into Dalmasca is via the One River and its western tributaries. Mont Blanc is bound for Rabanastre. He'll seek passage from the Glittering Basin. So, of course, it's all the way over there. It's fine. We'll just have to go there. But yeah, unfortunately, as much as I want to do all of the other raids, with the fact that this took 3 days to get into Royal City, I don't have a lot of confidence in getting into either of the other two. So, I will probably have to do what I did today, which is start, like, super early. And by that, I mean it was like, what, 7 o'clock? Which is early for me recording stuff. I mean, usually if I'm going to record stuff, it's after stream time. Which I usually start streaming around 8 most often lately. You know, not today because I'm doing this. Choco Meteor. Luckily, the Choco Meteors that these guys drop aren't that bad. They're not as bad as the Choco Meteor in the raid. So, that said, Choco Meteor is pretty good as Blue Mage when you have a Chocobo. Because when you have your Chocobo companion out, it's like 500 potency. Otherwise, it's only like 100, which is ridiculous, but that's the way it is. Mont Blanc, what were you thinking? Have you any idea what you put your brother through? He's been worried sick. Both Erdy and Ramzo were right all along. I am a failure, a flop, a flailing, flapping, foppish failure, Kupo. How could I play the part of a hero if I cannot even ruffle the feathers of a single measly bird? The audience would see right through me like the spineless jellyfish I am. Oh wait, Mont Blanc. Not everyone can be a hero. Not even most heroes. Yes, the bards sing of the man who deals the final blow. But what of his cadre of loyal companions? Do you think the leader united Ivalice on his own? Do you think Rin here was alone when she liberated Alamigo? I didn't actually do that, by the way. Just saying. I didn't act... I haven't done those quests. I've skipped over them. Never alone on the battlefield. Never alone? So you're saying you'll always be there for me? For Mont Blanc? I think she was speaking metaphorically. Let's not dwell on the details. The day is saved and Mont Blanc has escaped sans scratch or singe to show for it. We should return to the Prima Vista before our luck runs out. Yay! And now back to Kugane. But yeah, I mean, I used the story skip, so I literally, on this character, have not done any of that. In fact, I legitimately have not done Alamigo. Like, there's no check mark. So, or Kugane, or Temple of the Fist, or Drowned City, or Hell's Lid. In fact, they just unlocked Hell's Lid. Like, I haven't done any of the level 70 dungeons. And because I haven't done any of those, I also haven't done any of the higher level dungeons. So... I was originally planning to do them, to like stream doing them. You know, going through each of the stories. But... I've just gotten busy doing other stuff, so I just kind of got tired of not having anything to do, really. So I was just like, you know what, I can just story skip and go from there. So, and I have nothing to do on Cassandra right now, so that's why I'm playing on Rin at the moment. And I thought this was something I could, you know, get done and put out 3 days ago as like an, you know, a pre-recorded thing, but was not the case. Uh-oh. Please, the ship is a place of peace. At least my sister or you will answer to me. When the cat's away, put that damnable thing down, Ramza. You're not helping matters. You have no quarrel with you or yours. We only seek aid in finding our leader, Begomnon. You seek our help? You who threatened to kill my father, who stole his work and made fools of us all? Never. Silence, Ramza. They have Alma. We will hear what they have to say. Denomus is like so much wiser and like smarter than Ramza. Ramza's just arrogant. As I said, we have no quarrel with you. We only did what was necessary to secure an audience. We surrender our weapons and offer your journal as an act of good faith. Ah. What happened with Begomnon? This is all rather a lot to digest, but your claims do coincide with what we have learned about the Orosite.
You're saying that Crystal did something to our captain?
I wish they would just voice act all this stuff. After being emptied of Argus' will, the Duma sought that of another to sate its appetite for ether. I don't know why, like, the normal and Alliance raids just never get voiced.
You're saying that Crystal ate our captain?
Not his body, no. Only his soul.
His soul?
Tell me, what in your opinion was your leader's deepest desire? What was it that he longed for above all else in the world? Why waste your breath reasoning with these lizards? They show themselves for the beasts they are when they put a knife to your throat. First mole bats, now lizards. This one's tongue is pure poison.
A boy can call us what he pleases. For our past fallings, we deserve no better.
Your failings, rather?
30 summers have come and gone, yet not a night goes by that I do not wake and sweat at the memory. We were fusiliers to the Damascus army, stationed in the royal stronghold at Nelbina.
Nelbina Fortress was reputed to be impenetrable. Its fall to the 4th Legion proved a turning point in the Imperial campaign, dealing a crushing blow to Damascus morale, and ultimately marking the beginning of the kingdom's end.
Pagamnan was our captain, and once it was clear the day would not be ours, Prince Rassler, commander of the garrison at Nelbina, tasked him with one final mission. Our unit was to escort His Highness's twin sister, the Princess Ashalia, away from the fortress and thence to safety. But things did not go as planned. I still remember the words she uttered as she lay dying in the captain's arms, but a stone's throw from where the Garm Scythe waterway drains into the sea. Even as the fog of death descended upon her, she smiled and told us, the very people who had failed her, to survive. For as long as even a single Dalmascan stood, our nation would never truly perish.
These voices are rough, but I like doing them.
But it should not have been us who survived. By failing to protect our charge, we betrayed the princess and her memory.
Especially that one.
And brought shame upon our race. So yes, we are not but cold-blooded lizards deserving of whatever scorn you deign to heap on us. Deign to heap on us.
I think we may safely assume a deep-seated hatred towards the invaders of his homeland, coupled with self-loathing, born from a sense of powerlessness. The darkness that lurks in the heart of Pagamnan is little different from that which drove Argus, self-same emotions that were to nourish the Duma.
Stop speaking in riddles, Sarlian.
She's saying your brave captain will eventually turn into a monster. Or rather, more of one.
Garlean lies!
What they say is true. If you do not find Pagamnan and the Duma soon, none of us are safe. Present company included. Do you have any idea where he might have gone? Any at all? Wait, look at this. Something has been added to the final page of my journal. Really? 'Cause it looks like you're like reading the middle of the book.
Then the captain must have put it there. Only he had access to it. Till we found it in the pack he left behind, that is.
Is this Dalmascan?
Indeed it is. It says Ritorana. The lighthouse? Why would he write that? And in the old man's journal, no less.
There's a place on the Valnard Sea, far to the south of Urbanaster, where the ocean tumbles into a gaping maw more than a mile across. The Ritorana Cataract. Legend would have us believe that this is the entrance to the Hell of Water. You know, that mention makes me go, we never have been there. We went to the Seven Heavens, but we never went to the, 9 hells or whatever whatever it is, 7 hells? However they have it in this version. Many a scholar seeking to prove otherwise has ascended into the chasm, some even by airship, but not a one has returned. I must admit to know little of Ritorana, save that which Lady Mikoto shared with us. Before we expend valuable time and resources traveling to so remote a place, we must review my notes and see if there is any mention of the Abyss. We shall share our findings as soon as we learn aught of interest. Isaiah! Genomas and the Sun are ready to present their findings on Ritorana. Wonder if one of those was like if maybe they were adding a little bit of content each patch. Like maybe that was 4.2 and I was like, okay, now we're taking a break, and now it's 4.3. I don't know. I don't know how they did things back then. Our studies reveal that Ritorana is the name of both a massive gap in the southern Valnard Sea and the lighthouse once manned by the Royal Dalmascan Navy to prevent ships from succumbing to the cataract's currents. I stress once manned, as the tower has lain empty since its candlekeepers abandoned their posts after the fall of Rabanastra. But if Ferris Cirrus offers any indication of what can befall a lighthouse in the absence of its caretakers. Yes, but the real question is how all of this ties in with the Ivalician legend. A cursory examination of the Zodiac Brave story reveals no mention of a Ritorana. Yet it seemed foolish to assume the name could not change in the centuries since the tale was writ. So I thought to cross-reference text on modern Ilsbodian history with our translations of the Durai papers. And after an extensive re-examination of my ancestors' notes, I discovered there was not a single entry on Ritorana. And while mention of the Valnard Sea was abundant, I found no reference whatsoever to any cataract or lighthouse within its waters. Holmes's discovery prompted me to examine the mystery from a different perspective. What if there were no mystery at all? What if, at the time of Delita's rise, the chasm did not yet exist? There is more, But only a visit to the lighthouse will enable us to confirm our theories with any certainty. Excuse me. The Radarana lighthouse lies far from civilization. You would be wise to provision for the trip here in Hingashi. Adventurer always comes prepared. I shall return soon. I like that. Adventurer always comes prepared versus an adventurer usually comes prepared. I shall return soon. Of course. I'm always prepared. Why not? An adventurer is always prepared. Ooh. Look at that, dude. Whoops. The edge of the world, basically. Like, frick, dude. Something is very wrong here. Mayhap it is best if we split our fellowship into two parties. One to delve in the tower's depths, and one to observe from afar. As acting expedition sub-leader, I appoint you captain of the first. You may use the spyglass to aid in your search for the missing lizard.
Damn it, brother. Where are you?
He says we split into two groups, and then he's the only one that stays back as the other group. That's great. Here we are. Freaking Raider on a lighthouse. Just before the raid begins. But we do spawn in that same spot when we get to the raid. Location appears to offer an adequate view. Climb up and scan the area for any sign of Begomnon. Oh yeah, because this was a new mechanic in Stormblood, wasn't it? That's right. I forgot this was Stormblood that added this mechanic. I can see the world. I have no idea what I'm actually looking for. Oh, I'm just looking for... Am I dumb? I swear I didn't see him there when I went by. Maybe he moves? I swear he was not there just a moment ago. I'm gonna have to check that footage because I swear he was not there. That was like the first place I looked.
You found him? Let me see. He needs our help. Prince Vassler, Princess Celia, I know you cannot forgive me. Nor should you. It is all my fault. I could not save you, could not save anyone but myself. I am so sorry. But Camden, wait.
Yeah, these voices are rough. Uh-oh.
Traitors, have you no pride? You treat with the very men who laid waste to our homeland. You are mistaken, brother. There are no Imperials here. We've come to help you.
The aura sight.
I know what I see. My own kin sided with the enemy. How dare you stare? How dare you save my audience for the princess?
The Duma. Aura sight. It was him, Kupo. Shows him what he wants to see. It has him, Kupo. Rather, it has him.
Which murderess?
It's Livia. Bang! Uh-oh. Gunfire.
But I'm dead. So, this is the end. Recite the words, satisfy the covenant, relinquish thy soul unto me, and be granted that which thou desirest most in the world. Sword in hand, a warrior clutches stone to breast. Look at me, brother, look at me! And sword etched he his fading memories. Don't you die, not yet! Don't you die, not yet!
Wrong voice.
And stone, he tempered his tempered skill. We promised we'd all go together when our time came. You can't leave us here. By sword attested, by stone revealed.
Uh-oh. That's not good. The light. Why have I seen it before? Oh no! Oh crap. He begins to transform. What are you doing? You need to leave the lighthouse right away. Right away, do you hear? It is as we feared then. The Gomnan's soul is lost. Alright. Just that's where the quest ends. Annihilation. A solid plan of action must be devised before facing the Bunga transformed. Much as I wish it were otherwise, I fear Bomgonin is beyond saving. That we cannot suffer what is left of him to become a distraction. Father, is now not the time to abandon this quest? We are meddling with forces beyond. Enough, Alma. We adults are talking. While Rin was searching for the lizard, I inspected an area of exposed foundation at the base of the lighthouse. And you were right, Father. The lighthouse is built squarely atop the ruins of what can only be the clockwork city of Gog. The what work city of who? According to the Zodiac Brave story, the clockwork city of Gog was a metallic metropolis wherein airships, automata, and other technological marvels of the age were first conceived. Little is said about its location, however, save that it was far away. While the dry papers do not say a great deal more, they do mention that the land upon which the legendary city was built was severely limited, and inconvenienced the forced its inhabitants to build up rather than out. Which led me to ask why. What if the reason land was limited was because the land in question was an island? That still would not explain the omission of the cataract. It is inconceivable that the authors would neglect to mention so prominent a landmark that it existed. And then I found it. A lone passage regarding Gog's fall. While the particulars were missing, it appears the city was abandoned after an explosion left half of it in ruin. I believe this explosion may have undermined a portion of the seabed. It need only have been a small area at first, one that could well have gone unnoticed during the Exodus. As time passed, however, the waters would have continued to wear away at the rock, slowly widening the gap until we have what lies beneath us today. That would explain why there is no mention of Readerana prior to the present era. Come, Father, will you not tell them the rest? The possibility that we Garleans are descended in part from the displaced citizens of Gog. It would explain how the Empire was able to forge its armies of iron even before the discovery and application of Allegan technology. And it may also explain why the legend of Ivalice has resonated with our people for centuries, despite the fact that the Lost Kingdom was, as far as we can tell, in quite a different corner of the world. An interesting, if somewhat ambiguous theory, but to return to your original claim, it is your belief that the Readerana lighthouse stands atop what is left of
the necklace. Where did you get it, girl?
This? It was my mother's.
Your mother's?
It was my late wife's most cherished possession. Why do you ask?
Bagomnan had a talisman he would wear beneath his jerkin. He refused to take it off even when bathing. He said it was special. I only saw it a few times, but it looked exactly like the one your daughter wears.
And what are you implying, Lizard? That my sister stole it? Or my late mother?
Neither. I spoke of their similarity, that is all.
Can you believe the nerve of this boy?
Right? Freaking Ramza.
Enough, Ramza. I guess they're merely concerned for the well-being of their kin. But what of our kin? What of them, Ramza? Do you imagine our kin to be better than theirs in some way? Or anyone else's, for that matter? I apologize, Father. We have but one purpose, son, and that is to prove the existence of Ivalice and clear our family's name. Do not allow anger or hate to lead you from that path. Now, we have a lost city to explore. Readerana Lighthouse is now accessible. Alright. I highly doubt I'm going to be able to get into this. But I'm going to click join. Average wait time is 24 minutes. Oh my lord. Ah boy. Alright. Well, I do need to get to my streams. So I think that I will pause it here. And when we next come back, probably the same episode, based off of how I'm planning to do this, we can jump into the Readerana Lighthouse. At least unless, you know, suddenly the cube pops, but I don't expect that to happen, so. Yeah. I'll see you all, whenever we actually get into the freaking instance. Well, well, how about that? It's same day. I was actually only in queue for like 2 minutes. And then it popped. So I was like, hey, you know what? Awesome. Much as I do still need to go do my stream, with it being, you know, past 9 o'clock. Oh well. It's fine. I kind of have some plans later, maybe, that may have interfered with that anyway. So, math robot. Math time. Did Pagan and Tatuma give life to that creature? Long has it been since I last gazed upon the open sky, and the vermin who scurry beneath her. Hey look, it's a skill called Tide Pod. Get it? Tide Pod? Cause that's the thing, you know, the little detergent thing for your laundry. Little pod of Tide detergent. But also because, you know, Tide and then water. Alright, here's the thing, you gotta be you really gotta be zoomed out for this raid. Because you gotta watch that freaking thing over his head. Remember to stack Doritos. For those who maybe missed to learn that mechanic in Shadows of Mach. So that's where the mechanic was actually introduced. And since all raids are optional after Crystal Tower, I could see somebody like getting here without having even done Shadows. And even then, like, because it's only done once in Shadows, and I don't think it's ever done again until this raid. Like, I could see people not having learned it, or just having forgotten it after, like, the length of time between all the other things. And I'm freaking not keeping up my... Oh, darkest of vessels, you are my bow, you are my rain. Not even, like, paying any attention to the dialogue. My biggest complaint with Reaper is having to keep up Shadow of Death / Whirl of Death. Death's design, I guess, because they both apply that. Like, trying to keep up the Death's design is obnoxious. Duck Doritos! Feel the dark rain. Oops. That was somebody that did not stack the Doritos. I'm just gonna mention it again since the person that I was trying to stack with was running away from me. Oh crap. Back to Doritos. The red arrows. Always stack red arrows with red arrows. Might be a little difficult to see it on my screen because I have the Alliance up here. But you gotta watch this base that he has. If he does the mechanic again, I'll actually like point it out this time. Because I was trying to there, but I couldn't point it out in time. I don't think he's going to do it again though, because we're just about done with the fight. And he's got a whole rotation to go through first before we get back to that. So, yeah, that's about what I figured. But yeah, after he casts Tsunami, he'll start twirling the pot over his head. And where it stops is where the water comes pouring out. Seal on the gates is lifted. We can now venture further up to the lighthouse. This pattern is unmistakable. No, it cannot be. I mean, didn't we already mention that we know that this is the clockwork city of Gog? City remains functional for all these centuries. Let us access the transportation nodes. I actually am a little confused because, like, yeah, I guess, you know, all the times I've done this, I just kind of thought that he didn't learn about it until then. But that might not necessarily be the case. Or that's obviously not the case, I should say. I am melee, so no point in me using LB. On this, an area that we need AoE, because my LB isn't AoE. You do have to be careful not to kill these guys too quickly. I mean, like other things, the general consensus is just AoE and kill everything at once. But if you do that, like if you split up like we did here, and like you kill those three at the same time as you kill these three, you'll just wipe everybody. Because 6 of those exploding is just enough to kill everybody in a raid. The heat is almost unbearable. Could this be the heart of the lighthouse's beacon? Is that not what I have saved? Guess it's not. Thought I had the markers for the ABC markers for this save, but I don't. So I don't know what the markers that I have are. It says reader on a lighthouse, but I don't, like maybe it's the last fight? I don't know where the markers got placed. Clockwork City? Nope, I can't even look at it. Time waits for no one. Move from the slow clock to the fast clock. You cannot withstand my rage. Don't stand there! I saw Raven standing in the little freaking path. I'm like, don't stand there. But they did. They stood right there and got smashed. Almost died, even. Bound by the march of time, forevermore. Corners. And don't touch the chains once they become solid. Also, I'm forgetting which positional is which. I almost never bother with positionals. One, freaking the mobs like to spin. Okay, we got them separated enough. We gonna say separate, but now we got them. They actually are far enough apart. Step into the inferno. Step into my hellfire. I don't do a good deep voice. My voice just isn't low enough. All hands point to death. I'm only gonna flip it once? Yeah. I figured somebody else would flip it. Oh, frick, somebody didn't flip that one. Well, oh well. Maybe next time. This way. They almost died. They freaking took both of those hits. Technically, this is at the back. Go from slow clock to fast clock. Now we got them. They're good. They're good enough. Really, you only have to flip them once. Hand of time. And down.
At your wrath, might eclipse mine.
I've discovered another device. Clockwork City of Gog. The architecture here is similar to that of the lighthouse. But something feels off. The air is so thin. 1 is not a prime number. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. One thing I've discovered lately is because the ability that starts the math section is called subtract, some people think that you're subtracting. You're not, you're adding. I would assume that when you step in a circle and it adds, you would quickly realize that you're adding. However, it took me 3 runs to even, notice the HP mechanic. And so I was very confused and had no idea what I was doing. Which is one reason I kind of like to, mention it. This encounter specifically, I like to make note, of, because I feel like if I'm missing something that's, once you notice it, you go, oh, that's glaringly obvious. Other people are going to be the same. So, destroy. I must eliminate all enemies. That's how I picture it. Warning, entry prohibited. That's what he actually said. But one of his skills is destroy. And that always makes me think of Spybot from Sector X. Intruder alert, readying variable weapon system. Ow. I forgot to move away before. I did remember to move away, but I didn't remember to move away in time. Intruder alert, readying variable weapon system. Get ready to spin! Incinerate. Incinerate. I'm giving him more personality than he actually has. Anomalous intelligence level detected. Re-education authorized. Booting basic computation protocol. Basic computation protocol loaded. Initiating lesson. Command. Align current vitals with specified multiples. Calibrate vitals to multiples of 5. Need to step into 3 because I have 2. Calibrate vitals to multiples of 4. That means I need to step into 2 to make 4. Always make sure you step out first so that you can know what your HP is, and accuracy will be punished. You get a permanent debuff each time that you do it wrong, and you get a permanent buff each time you do it right. The re-education failed. Subject dismissal approved. Booting Tartarian protocol. Tartarian protocol loaded. Initiating processing sequence countdown. Processing sequence in 25, 24, 23. System error. 3, 2, 1. Processing sequence initiated. I'm way behind, but oh well. The Station of Banishment. Also, you can look down and see the raid. I think you're able to look down and see the fight. I think I remember noticing that at one point, but now I'm not noticing it. So maybe I was just delulu. Gotta remember to put your weapon away. That's another one that they taught in Shadows of Mach. Oh, we're the last ones out. Subject dismissal failed. Subject termination approved. Booting annihilation mode. Warning. Warning. Research staff evacuate the shelters immediately. Destroy. Destroy. He's so broken in Final Fantasy Tactics. Aw, crap. Whee! I really do want to play Ivalice Chronicles, but I gotta wait till the beginning of the month. They're doing variable weapon systems. Oh, crap. Frickin' heck! I was nowhere near that game. Incinerate. Whoops. That wasn't what I meant to do. Anomalous intelligence levels detected. Re-education authorized. Booting basic computation protocol. Increasing difficulty. Command, align current vitals with specified multiples. Calibrate vitals to primes. I'm at 6, so I need to go to 1 to get 7. Because 7 is the prime number. 6 is not. Calibrate vitals to multiples of 4. Go ahead and set my vitals to 8. I guess we're using limit breaks to get over this quickly, so mine as well. Even though it's a better idea not to do that. Because you end that fight with extremely low HP, and then you have to heal everybody up. There's no mistaking it. We are in the legendary clockwork city of Gog. rather, I assume it's supposed to be. There's Begomnon. It's time.
ガレマール帝国に組みする者どもめ。貴様らに殺された同胞の恨みを今こそ晴らしてやる。
Nope. 2 people in cutscenes. So apparently this boss in Tactics takes literal hours. But he's also a super boss, so it's fine, I guess. But I don't know if it's Tactics or if it's 12. Because both are Ivalice stories. While waiting, also feel free to insult Begomnon, who is worse boy. And click on ready check since I know we're out of cutscene now. And yes, it is in Japanese. I didn't mention that previously, so I didn't think about it. But yes, I play with the Japanese VA. So, apologies if, you know, you like the English voice acting. I don't. Hey, if you do, by all means, enjoy it. I don't. And maybe that's one reason I didn't have issues with Dawn Trail. Because from what I understand, a lot of people that don't like Wiklabot don't like the voicing. And I'm like, I don't know, I thought it was fine. But then I'm sitting here going, like, just a couple of days ago, I realized, like, oh wait, I've always had the Japanese. I've never heard the English VA. Like, maybe that's the reason people don't like her. Maybe her English VA is legitimately bad. I don't know. I don't know who her English VA is, so I can't say. I feel like I remember learning about who it was at one point and being like, it seems weird that like they would be bad because they're generally a pretty good VA. But I don't know. I mean, one thing you always have to remember with voice acting too, well, acting in general, is it's not necessarily the actor. Sometimes it's the direction. The director is like terrible. Like, I'm pretty sure that's why they like fired the original studio that did ARR to like begin with, because like the original studio like was legitimately bad. Like, there is a big difference between ARR and Heaven's Word's voice acting. Like, once they switched to the new studio and voice actors, it did get a lot better. You know? Also, I love that we've been fighting all this time, and he's still at 84%. Whee! Like, this guy's defense is stupidly high, and I love it. Just because, you know, it doesn't stay that way. Once you defeat the heart of the dragon, he not only takes a massive amount of damage, but he then takes a big debuff, which I think is really cool. Alright, heart of the dragon. Like, watch, like, if you haven't seen this, watch this. 17% HP. Like, that is so much damage. But I love that. Like, that's such a cool, like, subversion of expectation. It's like, you're looking at him going, oh my god. Like, how much health does he have? And it's just like, oh, not actually that much, because he freaking takes so much damage off of that. It's so great. Like a knife through butter. Didn't stop, made it pop. Rip. Ba 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 da. Meet around the lighthouse, complete. I wonder if anybody here is like, she was calling out mechanics. Like, how does that work? First timer calling out mechanics. They probably understood. It's like, oh, alt, you know? It's the Duma. Whoop, that was weird. Behold, the necklace. Mother's necklace. What is it doing here? Unless... Oops! That's not great. They do look strikingly similar, don't they? Alma? Alma, are you there? I'm here, Ramsa. Extraordinary. The stones are different, but the craftsmanship is identical. However did it come to be in Begamnen's possession? Though they are indeed of a different shape, stones appear to be cut from the same crystal. Oh, they are. Orosite. Orosite. What makes you say that? Can't you feel it? You can feel it, can't you, Hurdy?
Do you recall me telling you that Begomnan considered the necklace special? It was special because it was entrusted to him by Prince Raster. He has to return it to Princess Ashelia upon delivering her highness from Nelbina Fortress. Or he was, rather.
Family keepsake? Of course! And each necklace, each aurosite, has acted as a lodestone, drawing both of our parties closer and closer to Ivalice. Indeed, Father, as the aurosite guides us. Hamza, are you recovered? Thank you, sister. I am well now. From what we know of the Duma and the Otius, vestiges of one's will may endure in an aurosite. Could it be, then, that the desire of the former owner, or creator, of these necklaces was simply to return to Ivalice? Title drop! By the way, this series of quests is known as Return to Ivalice. So, you know, title drop. But who could that have been? That's why I'm like, title drop! Because that's exactly what that is. Hamza Bailv. He wanted people to return to his homeland and uncover the truth behind the kingdom's founding. But then, why show us Lysalia and Gog, you ask? Simple. We are being tested. The Earthsight is measuring our worth, seeing if we are deserving of that truth. You say these things as if you knew them. But how could you? Nothing we have uncovered suggests anything of the kind. I know you have your doubts, but I can assure you they are misplaced. For now, I must ask you to trust me, Lady Murilla. Lady Murilla? Since when did you... Hamza, are you feeling quite yourself? Of course I am, sister dearest. I have never felt better. I sense a disturbance in the ether. Father, these necklaces are gifts. Gifts from the old gods who once watched over the Ivalicians. It is proof we have their blessing. For the necklaces and the Otius we can finally prove. Thank you, Ren. I know not what came over me. I mean, if Aurosite can hold someone's will, perhaps the necklace was holding someone's will? Hamza, you must rest. Leave me be, Alma. Did I not tell you I'll be fine? Ah, he's back to his arrogant self all of a sudden. That was short-lived. Another adventure under our belt, Saverin. I'd best put pen to page before the details fade. Lysalia and now Gog. One would think our discovery is more than sufficient to prove the Lex and Tails' claims, at least with regards to Ivalice's existence. Something tells me that until Genomus has proof that his ancestors were not the heretics the Church painted them to be, he will not rest. And then there's the curious case of Ramza, that almost threw at one moment, all Sister Dearest the next. He was like a different person when he came to, yet I seemed to be alone and wondering exactly what happened to him back at the lighthouse. If you ask this lady, he must have taken quite some bump to the head when he fell. Then again, it didn't take him long to turn back into his spiteful little self, so all's well that ends well? I hope you all have enjoyed. If you did, feel free to subscribe. You can check the playlist. Wait, no, there's... I don't know. Is there a playlist? Oh, wait a minute. This isn't a series. There's other Final Fantasy 14 stuff on the channel. I'll probably link to something. But anyway, whatever. Feel free to come out twitch.tv/SereneInc, where I usually stream live. But I thought this was going to be a quick something I could record on a non-stream day. And it ended up taking several days to do this. So, if I had known that, I would have just streamed it or something. Oh well. In either case, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!